Well, hello, you. Hope you're doing well, and many blessings to you wherever you are in the world. You know what this is. This is Ignite, 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 Ignite. We are sharing on Ignite, and we wanted to reach out to all of you wherever you are in the world. Big blessings to you because you're part of the Ignite community. If you're just seeing this for the first time, what's it all about? Well, we're talking about ways to ignite others, and ignite people in an amazing different way. As a publishing house, we love to create books that are making massive change on the planet. And today is a big day because we are launching our next book in our White Glove program. One of our next amazing authors, we have a book to share with you, and we're inviting her into this call so we can talk about the power of her book and the way that it is making an impact. And we want to share with you. So wherever you are, buckle up, because we're going to be talking about the next amazing best-selling book in the Ignite series. It's called Culture Secrets. That's right. We're going to share with you a little bit about the cover in a moment. But first, before that, I want you to meet the author who has done so much to make this book a success, who has worked and shared and learned and grown and really taken her expertise and all the things she's done in the area of corporate and empowerment and individuals and creating culture and connection. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Ignite author extraordinaire, Miss Chellie Phillips. Come on in. Hey, Chellie.
Hey, JB, it's great to be with you. Such an exciting
Congratulations.
day.
I love that you're surrounded by your previous books, all the work that you're doing, and then for everybody, your new book. Let them see this amazing new book. Fantastic. It's called Culture Secrets. It's just gorgeous. We love it. Isn't that so cool? Tell everybody who's watching, and welcome Facebook watchers. Tell a little bit about Culture Secrets and what makes it so phenomenal.
So, Culture Secrets is all about building amazing cultures inside the workplace because we spend so much of our lives at work. And when we can have a place where we thrive and the company thrives, it just makes it better for everybody around. And culture is that secret sauce, that ingredient that makes that happen. And so, when you have a staff, when you have management, when you have coworkers, and you have everybody that are on board on they're mission driven and they're value centered, then it just makes a great experience for everybody that's there. And you really love getting up, going to do what you do every day because you feel that you're valued, you feel that you're productive, and you feel that you're growing as a human.
It's so fantastic. Like you say it so beautifully, and yet what's making me think like that's true, that's correct, that's right. Of course that. And I love that this book addresses that because as the leaders of empowerment publishing, we only do books that are about empowerment and culture and empowering individuals and employees and team members. It's so important. I mean, many of us have gone through massive transition in the last couple of years with everything that's been going on in the workplace. Can you talk about how workplace culture has changed recently?
Yeah, you talk about the change. Everybody's had a lot of time to stop and reflect on what's really important in their lives now. And, that's caused a lot of people to rethink, is this where I want to spend 8, 9 hours a day? Is this what I want to be doing repetitively day in and day out? Are these the people that I want to be surrounded with? And so, what we're learning in the workplace is that people are becoming more value centered. They're wanting their personal values to be reflected in the work that they're doing. They want their work to have purpose and meaning, and they want the people that they're around them to be champions of each other. And so, when you combine all that, if you are the person doing the hiring, if you are that CEO making these decisions, you really have to start investing in that culture inside your organization so that you don't lose the people that you have, but that you're also positioning yourself for the next generations that coming into the workplace, because they are very value centered. They're very keen on, I want to work at places that feel the way I feel, that they care about the things that I care about. And that's not just necessarily personal values, that's also social issues. So culture is something that can strike a chord and bring so many people and so many elements together and just make it a positive experience for everyone.
It's so true. Like while I was writing with you and working with you and editing with you on your book, what I noticed is I kept thinking about my business and my ability and what I was doing as a leader and how important it was to create this emotional connection with my company, my clients, my team. And I realize, and I've said this a lot, we just don't put words on a pages in a book, and books on a shelf. We really make an impact, and our team really knows that they're putting out powerful things that are making an impact. They're igniting others and going out into the world. And I want to just thank you for that, because it reminded me that it's about the emotion, it's about the values, it's not about the act or the service. I mean, people do have service-based businesses. It's not about the one, two, three. It's about really creating this connection and this, as you said, value, this emotional investment. Can we talk a little bit about that? There's an emotional investment because everybody wants to feel better, wants to feel valued, wants to feel like they're contributing. So the mechanics of the ABC is less important than what the business is producing. Is that, am I saying it correctly?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of the chapters inside the book talks about gratitude and how important that is in the workplace. And Kevin Monroe, you're just a gratitude guru, the guy that I featured inside the book and spent some time talking with, he has a wonderful quote or a saying that he shared from some of his experiences. And he talks about, if in the past we've always paid people for their hands or their skills or their service that they're doing, but what if we could start paying them for their hearts? So,
Hmm.
like if you can really just think about that, our hearts are the key to everything. I mean, our emotions are what make us, our feelings and our values and all that all rolled up into one. If we didn't have those, we'd all just be kind of robots walking around on this earth. But that's what really makes us unique and what makes us different. And so when we start focusing on the things that matter to each other, what do we value? What do we bring to the table? How do we appreciate that? How do we recognize that? And how do we make people understand as leaders that we do recognize and appreciate that? And it's one of those things that's really powerful. And what it does is it brings all the relationships together. You feel that synergy. You feel that everybody is headed in the same direction. They're very mission oriented, and the values that we seek, have behaviors that are attached to them so that we understand what's expected of us, and they begin to help us make the decisions that we make on a day-to-day basis. And it just works as a very symbiotic kind of thing inside the workplace.
Mhm. And, what's interesting is there's probably some people watching this going like, "Why are you guys telling us about this?" Well, the reason is because Chellie is launching her book today. She's sharing her book, and we wanna celebrate her, and we do that through the Ignite community. You're all a part of what we do, and so we want to share with you that today and tomorrow, Chellie is really going on that wonderful opportunity to launch her book, and she's making it available to everyone through the free digital download that you can get. So go to mybook.to/culture secrets, or just go to Amazon wherever you are. Make sure you go to Amazon through your web browser. If you're on your phone, Google it through your web browser and check it out. This is the beautiful cover. If you didn't see it earlier, Chellie Phillips's book, Culture Secrets, is available on Amazon, and we want to give you a free copy. And that's why we're doing the show, is because many people are experiencing difficulty at work. There are many managers, businesses, CEOs, entrepreneurs that are struggling with how to get their team invested in their mission and their purpose. There are many cultures that are sort of non-existent when it comes to people connecting with each other. I know there was parts where you spoke about just different cultural differences within the work culture, that people come from different places, they have different backgrounds, they eat different food, they have different nuances and different habits. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I found that very fascinating, that we're creating a culture within multiple cultures.
Yeah, you think about a workplace. It's not just okay, the office and that's what it is. We have different divisions, we have teams that are working, we have different departments, and so, there can be many subcultures throughout the organization. While the company may say this is our overall culture, everybody kind of takes that one and adapts it to how they work as a group. And so, that's where it becomes very, very important for that leader to have that clear vision about what we're doing, and that they have gotten the input from all of their employees to be able to make sure that they're all on the same page, and that it's not a launch and done. Like, you can't just say, okay, I'm going to have a big culture launch and then I never talk about it again for the next 12 months. These are things that need to come up all the time at work, and we need to be reinforcing those. And so, the really cool thing is when you get culture right, you're really starting to Really embrace what makes your workforce unique. The people that are there, the experiences that they've had before they come to work with you know, as they were growing up, through their educational experiences, their other professional experience, their family experience, their cultural, their, their national experience, anything like that comes and it makes us the whole of who we are. And we bring that to work. And so if we can find ways to celebrate those things, those differences, and really be able to really come up with a way that we can build relationships and connections inside that workplace where we respect and we understand that everybody has a little different point of view, where we can have really interesting conversations, where we can really tap into what makes us special, what skills that we have, what talents that we bring. It becomes a place where you enjoy going and you start really building relationships with each other. And when you enjoy being around people, then you enjoy coming to work. And that gives you much more job
Mhm.
satisfaction. And in the turn, since we spend about 90,000 hours of our life there, when you really know the people, I mean, imagine the years that you're going to have with them. You're going to go through marriages, you're going to go through births, you're going to go through children graduating, you're going to go through, grandparent stages, you're going to go through ball games, you're going to go through proms and all these things that make us who we are from our family experiences. And you share that with your coworkers. Your coworkers become a resource for you. They become a sounding board. And, that's the thing that really makes it special, is that when we really do embrace the fact that we have a really unique group of people that we work with and that they all have something to add to, the environment that we are, and we start tapping into that, it makes the whole experience so much better for everyone.
Yeah, it's so true. And you're making me again think of my team and the places that I worked where the culture has been really enjoyable. And we'll show you the cover of the book again because you can get a copy, a downloaded copy, a digital copy at Amazon right now. And we do this. Why? Because this is a really powerful book. It's over 400 pages. It's multiple different ways that you can grow culture in your, excuse me, pardon me. Okay, Chelly, take it away.
Yeah, so, the book one of the things about the book that I really enjoyed the most is that I got to really interview some of the people that I think are really culture leaders inside the business industry. And we tapped into automotive industry, we tapped into manufacturing industry, we tapped into athletics and entertainment, we tapped into all of these different kinds of businesses. And what was really interesting is all these successful cultures really all share some of the similarities, and that's where the book kind of really centered on. I call it the value culture. And so each of those letters for value stand for different pieces that make the culture very much successful inside an organization. And that's vision, accountability, leadership, the uniqueness of the people that we were talking about just a few minutes ago, and the engagement that comes from that. And when you have all of that full circle, that's something that spreads outside of work as well. The people that come and visit you, your customers, your clients, all of those interactions become better. But even more than that is that we take it home with us. We take it into other organizations with us, because what works in the workplace can be adapted and work in different areas of our lives as well. So when you identify the values that matter at work, you can do the same thing for your family and get them on board. But this is going to be the culture of our family. And it can be the same thing for any of the other kind of organizations that you're involved in. So culture is just something that it needs to be worked at. It needs to be something that's continually grown and developed. And it evolves too as we evolve, because just like we were talking about what we bring to work, what happens to us in life changes us along the way too. So, we need to constantly revisit those values and make sure that they are still the reflection of what we want inside those organizations, and that they're still the same that we want as people who are in the workplace.
Well, it's so inspiring. I love the value culture and the way you've broken it down. And as your publisher, I'm going to be like, let's do value culture secrets for families. Let's do culture secrets for relationships. Like, I'm really going to start like saying to you, take that value model. Like, it's really beautiful, all the letters and all the things that you said. And let's put it into relationships. Let's put it into parenting. Let's put it into community because it really is very evident in everything that you've shared, and you're very educated, you're very skilled folks. She's award winning in many ways. that this is very much a passion for you. You love this and you see how effective it is in so many areas of our lives, obviously in work, but in many other areas. And it's just a joy to read the book because it's inspirational. You put interviews in there. You've included some very high level and successful people talking about the importance of culture. You put some fun and your own spin into it. And I just want to congratulate you and applaud you because I'm so proud of this book and I'm so excited to know that people are going to be reading it. Business owners are going to be sharing it. Companies and employees are going to be experiencing it. And then that's going to send this ripple effect out into the community and out into the clients and even out into the next workforce. I mean, think about it. I love that idea also, culture secrets for the up and coming, the new workforce, because there is a lot to be taught and learned at work. I have an 18-year-old son. He's just, really getting into the workforce. And I'm very conscientious of where he works because the culture that he learns at the very beginning of his work life will stay with him for a long time. It'll set the precedent. Share a little bit about that because you've had great cultures, you've had not so great cultures, but I'd love to know your take on how people get imprinted based on a culture that they work in.
Yeah, like what you experience is what you begin to consider the norm. And so, if you start out in a place that the culture is not that great, then it sets the bar for you. Go, okay, this is what I can expect anywhere I go. So when you're able to actually move into an organization that has some really great culture and you realize what you've been missing, that's the thing that's heartbreaking for me is that some people never get to experience that. They stay right where they are because they think that is the be all end all and that's what it's going to be like to work anywhere. And so, I'm here to tell you is that no, that's not the case. There's a lot of things and a lot of places out there that are doing it right. So if you're not feeling valued or you're not feeling like you have the opportunity to grow and develop and really be, a part of the success of an organization, it might be time to start looking and seeing, are there some other places that I can check into? And, I think this book gives you a really good, if you're kind of in that mode, it'll give you kind of a really good touch plate on, what I want to look at when I start looking for a new opportunity. And, if you have children, especially in that age, that young professional age where they're leaving high school, they're getting ready to graduate college, and they're really starting to get into the workforce, I think this is a great book for parents too. These are the
Mhm.
things that you should be looking for. I worked for years with college women, and that's one of the reasons I wrote this book over here, this Get Noticed, Get Hired, because I wanted to set them for success in their professional life early on. And how did you brand yourself as a way to be able to continue to move up and let people recognize what you're bringing to the workforce in a way that gets you noticed for the next step and the next step and the next step. And so I think it's important for us as mentors and us as parents and us as, adults that are interacting with the younger generation that we do tell them, "Hey, an interview is a two-way street. It's not just the company interviewing you. It's
Right.
you interviewing that company too. So you need to make sure you're checking, for these things as well." While the pay is great, benefits can be good, but the atmosphere that you're going to spend 8, 9 hours a day in is really vital and really important too. Because when you start to think about it, if you have a really bad work experience or a work environment, it doesn't just stay at work. It leaves
Mhm.
with you when you leave. So you take it home, you take it out with your friends, you take it out on your spouse, you take it, like maybe you just feel like
Mm.
holding up inside the house and not doing anything with anybody because I just tired of people in general. So culture becomes really important, and this next generation coming into the workforce are I think they're more aware of that than maybe I was as a Gen Xer coming
Mhm.
into the workforce. And I think a lot of that has to do with what's been happening in the last couple of years, where they've heard a lot of people talk about let's reflect on what's important. And this next generation coming into the workforce is very value oriented. They're very socially conscious, and the places that they are going to be working need to recognize that because that's what they're looking for in their next employer.
Yeah, and I think that old thing, like, just get in and get out, just go and put in your time, just do what you have to do and go home at the end of the day. Like, people just aren't doing that anymore. That's just not appropriate and not how people want to live their life. I don't have the exact stats, but I do remember reading in your book where you were saying that people will stay longer in a company if the culture is great. Maybe the location and the pay isn't wonderful, but if the culture is great, they'll stay longer. But you also said that people will leave sooner if the culture is bad, despite great pay or great location or great other things. The benefits of the culture are far more important than like the other benefits. And I think that's a really valuable point, that people are looking at culture even more than pay and office space and healthcare and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's really true with this new generation that we're talking about, your millennials and your Gen Zs. Culture is vital to them, and they will take a lesser paying job for a better cultural experience inside that organization. And so if your company isn't aware of how important culture is and what you're doing to really, really develop one inside the organization, then you're going to lose out some of the best and brightest talent that's out there as it's coming up. So as your workforce now begins to retire or decide to leave and move on to other opportunities, you're not going to be filling those positions with the best possible candidate anymore
Hmm.
because you're not going to be attracting them.
Yeah, and you also said something really important, that culture precedes you. So if you have bad culture, people will be talking about it, people will be sharing about it, people may even be posting about it. It'll get around versus if you have great culture, new talent will be seeking you, the best talent will be looking towards you because they're looking at the culture in conjunction with the work and the productivity.
Yeah, it's so easy these days with social media. Like, how many platforms are there now? I mean, a bazillion. You can't count them anymore. And people love to share what's happening in their life, good or bad. So if I have a bad work experience and somebody talks about, hey, I'm going for an interview, probably the first thing I'm going to do is message them and be like, you don't want to work here. Let me tell you what it's really like. You may not read this in the articles or
Right.
you may not read this in the job description, but here's what happens behind the scenes. And so on the flip side, if you're a company that's really investing in your employees and they're recognizing the value that they're bringing to the table, then I'm going to be telling all my friends that are looking for a job that this is the place you want to come because this is what you're going to experience when you get here. So you really turn your employees into brand advocates for you. And I mean, like, what more could you want as a CEO than having, a whole company full of people that are looking for great referrals and then more that are doing great work for you. And so, yeah, I mean, it is important because it can really impact your brand. Culture is your internal brand to me, just like we have our logos and how we market our merchandise. Culture becomes your internal brand. It's how people recognize
Mhm.
who you are, what the company stands for, and your employees really will get out there and tell that story for you.
Well, folks, that's the reason why we're doing the show today, is because we want you to be aware of this. We want you to know that this book is available. We want you, if you have a company, if you're a business owner, if you're a manager, if you're a key player, if you're and we talked about this, even if you're just an employee, you can start to be the catalyst for a new culture within your organization. And Chellie talks about that in her book, From Management Down and From an Individual Up. There's so many ways that you can be a part of it. It's available on Amazon right now. We would love for you to go get a copy, download it. And as part of the Ignite community, of course, you want to support one of your fellow Ignite authors and really enjoy this book, because I love working with authors who are writing big books like these, because we're moving the needle. Chellie's moving the needle. She's making an impact. She truly is using her message and her expertise to ignite the lives of others. And I think that's so amazing, magnanimous, and profound. And I always want to shout it from the rooftops. I'm even wearing orange in honor of her amazing book. We coordinated this together, folks. We're both wearing orange just to show how powerful Culture Secrets is. If somebody was going to walk into the bookstore and they're looking for something to help grow their business, tell them why the some of the key components of this book is really designed for that, for solving the problem, because I feel like a lot of people are just telling the story, but you're really solving some of the problems.
Yeah, it was funny when I started doing a lot of the interviews and the research for this book. One of the questions I'm asking them is, how do you budget for this?
Mm,
And, like a lot of people tell me, well, there's not a line item on our budget for culture. And so, that really got me to thinking, is like, if it's something so important, why are we not designating that this is what we're going to spend on this? And so, the fact that everybody kind of recognizes the need for it, but not everybody is investing in it is kind of the first issue, I think. So, this will talk through how do I make the case that this is something that as a business that we need to invest in, because you're really going to see that return in the fact that you have higher productivity, you have less absenteeism, you have less turnover, you have more retention, you have more productivity, and which means more profitability. Your customer service is going to be better, which means you're going to have repeat customers. Their satisfaction is better. That's going to mean that you're going to have more referrals, which turns into more sales, which adds to more
Mhm.
profits. So
Mm.
there's so many things here that make this a great return on investment for a company itself. But then when you look at the individual employee, when I am a supervisor or I'm a leader in an organization and my team feels like I know them personally and that I understand what matters to them and that I'm on the same team as helping them get to where they want or get the most out of their career that they can get, and that I recognize what they bring to the table, their talents that they're sharing with me, then that's a great experience. My team becomes much more energized. There's a spirit of collaboration. There's more creativity in the workplace. And, there's just more camaraderie, which is what we all want. Everybody wants to be at a place where they feel like they belong. And that's what culture really does for an organization. It solidifies the fact that I belong here, that I'm a part of this, that I have something that I can contribute and I can make a difference doing what I do.
Bravo, bravo. Well said. Well, one more time, we'll bring it up so you can take a look at it. Go to Amazon right now and get Culture Secrets. Of course, you can reach out to Chellie's website and speak with Chellie. Of course, she can help you other ways, but we really want you to be a part of this beautiful download, this free copy for today and tomorrow as Chellie launches her book out into the world and igniting the lives of others. Before we go, Chellie, let me just ask you, I know there's some Ignite authors who are watching right now who have had the idea of writing a book. They've kind of been like dabbling with the idea. They're like, how did she get that done? How did she do that? I've been wanting to write a book. Oh my gosh, there's another Ignite author publishing. Can you talk just a tiny little bit about the desire and the destination of writing and going bestseller and putting something out on the market like this? Just give some words of wisdom and sort of encouragement to some of those people who might be sitting on the fence about writing something they know a lot about.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I would tell you is go with your gut. If this is something that matters to you and that you're passionate about, you're probably not the only one out there in the world that cares about this. So, don't be afraid to put those thoughts on paper. Just jump in there, start writing. I and JB would probably attest to this is I'm not a total outliner. I'm kind of a seats of her pants kind of writer. And, I kind of go with the flow with what I'm doing. And so, if you're getting started, don't worry about it having to be in the perfect form, the perfect anything to begin with. Get the thoughts out and start sharing them. I think the thing that we worry about, I think, is, everybody has that fear of rejection that I'm going to do this and nobody really is going to, like it but me. The thing when I wrote my very first book, I remember the very first email that I got from somebody that told me this story in your book mattered to me and this is what it made
Mm,
me feel and this is
mhm.
what made it. If I had never got another response other than that, that one message was enough to make it worth the long hours at night, the lack of sleep, whatever it was that was going on at that point in time. And, just know that your message does matter and that, you know, if it's something that you're passionate about, something that you have a heart for, that's going to come out in what you write as well. And people are going to be able to feel that. And it's going to, it's actually going to have an impact. And you're going to be able to help somebody else along the way with whatever your message is.
Well, let me be one of those people to say, you know what? I was reading your book at my 4 a.m. editing time, and I was going through your chapters, and you really inspired me. You made me think about my company and my team and the people and my leadership and how I can be a better leader and how I can care more about them and how I can make sure that it isn't just a like, hey, we're doing this week, and then we never talk about it again and it falls short. Like you really gave me some great tips and ideas and suggestions. And so you've definitely helped me. You've helped my team. We so appreciate it. Everybody at Ignite is so delighted and proud and joyfully just enjoying your success with your book. So congratulations once again. Culture Secrets, ladies and gentlemen. Hold up that book one more time. It's so beautiful. I just love it. I can't wait to get my copy. I just love it, love it, love it. Download it today. Go and see what you can do to create a better culture in your world. Bravo and congratulations, my darling, for your fabulous launch weekend. We wish you so much success. This book is beautiful, and we are just appreciate every moment you're in our community. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, JB. I've really been pleased to be a part of it.
All right, folks, we'll see you. Let us know. Reach out and share your reviews about Culture Secrets and Amazon. And of course, if you ever need any support in your writing journey, we are always here. Give Chellie a little shout out on Facebook or Instagram. Give her a big thumbs up and let her know how grateful you are that she is part of our community and igniting the lives of others through her incredible book, Culture Secrets. All right, big hugs and kisses to you. Go download your copy right now. All right, take care, everyone.
Now, more than ever, we need to come together to connect with one another. We need to feel the truth in who we are and let go of everything that's happened in the past. We need to empower every person on the planet and awaken hearts, enliven souls, come together, laugh, play, rejoice, connect, create, and love. It's time to ignite humanity. We want you to be a part of something that will impact the future for everyone. We want you to tell your story, share your Ignite moment, show people who you truly are. Be a part of igniting humanity and making a difference in the world and all of our futures.